No. There you go. I'm already recording.
You are?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Hi, my name is Karen Trevino,
And I'm Casey Shock.
and today we are going to introduce you interpersonal communication and emotional intelligence. These two factors are really important in your management and job performance. Okay, first I'm going to introduce you the definitions of both. Interpersonal communication, based on our books, is the process of sending and receiving verbal and nonverbal messages between two or more people. As we know, verbal is when we speak and nonverbal is through our gestures. And it is the exchange of messages to share and try to find meaning between people involved. This is through the process of encoding and decoding. Now, let's go to emotional intelligence. It's the understanding and management of emotions to reach goals, empathize, and handle relationships with others. For the interpersonal communication, right here we have an example that we find in a book. It's communicator A and communicator B. This person first encodes the message, it goes through a channel, then is a messaging medium, and then is received and decoded by the other communicator. The goal of interpersonal communication process is to gain a shared meaning between the people involved. However, some barriers to the process are noise and filter of lifetime experiences. I am going to explain those right now. The barriers are physical noise. It's something external that is actually affecting what you hear or see. This could be an airplane, train, or maybe if you're talking on the phone, you're next to a building that is being constructed, that noise can be affecting your interpersonal communication. Now, physiological noise is internal noise usually involving sickness or impairment. This is people who are deaf. Now, semantic noise is when the people involved have different meanings or ideas of the same word. Psychological noise is an interference affected by moods, emotions, ideas, and stress. It is known that people that are angry do not receive the same message that when they are happy. Now, filter of lifetime experiences is how the message is going to be received or decoded related to the receiver's experiences, knowledge, and values. This also is between cultures. Emotional intelligence is a factor in overall communication since we as humans are made to feel before we think. Handling our emotions is well optimal to the communication process. It prevents emotional hijacking. What is this? It's acting before thinking. We can see in this image how a message goes through a spinal cord first, then it goes to the limbic system. The limbic system is where we feel. Then that message goes to the rationality. Here is where we think. The importance of emotional intelligence. First, it gives you an intuitive appeal. Intuition suggests people who can detect emotions in others. They control their own emotions too. This is really important in management. You have to know your emotions, but also understand the emotions of your employees so you can better manage your communication. Emotional intelligence predicts criteria that matters. This is selecting when to be angry, when to be sad, when to be happy. Know how to handle your emotions too. Emotional intelligence is biologically based. There was one study where people had problems in their emotional parts of their brain, and they showed to have the same intelligence, but they did have lower score of decision making than those that didn't have those problems in the brain. Now, talking in statistics, this is really good explanation. 90% of top performers would have high emotional intelligence. This also affects your job performance. 55% of your emotional intelligence is responsible for that. Now, talking in money, people with high emotional intelligence make $29,000 more annually than people that have low emotional intelligence. Now, self-awareness. You have to know yourself, what makes you angry, and your emotions. It is the foundation of emotional intelligence. You have to know yourself, as I said it before. It is understanding your emotions and how they affect you. It helps you to manage triggers, which are events that cause a strong fight or flight response. Once you know yourself, you have to know how to manage yourself. And this is self-management. That is the ability to use awareness of your emotion and stay flexible and to direct your behavior positively. Examples are managing your actions when you're feeling anger and managing emotions for long-term intentions.
Now we're going to go over when we know we are doing these correctly and when we're doing them poorly. I'm also going to provide you with strategies to improve your overall emotional intelligence, as well as some guidelines to follow to improve them. First, we're going to go over when you know you're performing these poorly. Noise gets in the way of interpreting messages, and in turn leads to misinterpretation of meanings of words, which can cause confusion or frustration. And emotions are easily frayed, and they're very difficult to control in this state of low emotional intelligence. This in turn leads to undesired work performance and results. Now, when you can't keep emotions in check and you have difficulty controlling them, that is a result of low emotional intelligence and can result in emotional hijacking, acting before you think. Common characteristics involve falsely representing your ideas, misstating facts, saying regretful statements. That's when you provide or somebody else provides diverse opinions that are not welcomed in the company, nor are they beneficial to the team as a whole. Also, showing frustration or anger. This can lead to blaming other people for mistakes or responsibilities. Remaining silent. Remaining silent is going to lead to a lower quality of work discussion and lower quality of work overall. Failing to listen to others is another common characteristic. When you fail to listen, you might miss out on critical feedback to improve your performance and in turn improve your team overall. Finally, we have disengagement from beneficial work relationships. It's not only going to hurt yourself, not talking to your employees, it's also going to hurt your team, and it's going to hurt the company. Next, we're going to go into a common work scenario where there is poor emotional intelligence. Here we have a comic of a manager providing a performance evaluation for one of his employees. Now, in this comic, actually, the manager gets a thesaurus to come up with words to describe his employee's leadership skills, his teamwork skills, and overall his rating. He uses words like feral, squirrely, and coot. Now, most people don't understand what these words mean. It's sort of an exaggeration just to help you understand what I'm trying to say here. And that is that the employee doesn't understand the meaning of the words, and even though the manager might, the employee doesn't, so he tends to maybe not listen, or he takes negative meaning to what the manager is saying. And it's just not going to lead to a better work performance. And in this comic, actually, when the coworker asks the employee on how to go, he says, I wasn't really listening. Now, that goes back to what I was saying, we're not listening to critical feedback to improve your performance. Next, we're going to go over when you know you're doing it correctly. When you can sort out noise and have high emotional intelligence, your communication is clear and constructive. This is going to increase your work performance overall and the quality you deliver to your managers. Next, you're going to be able to perceive your own emotions and the effects they have on messages. You can channel your frustration in a constructive manner that is beneficial to work relationships. You can also show sincere interest in others, their ideas, their concerns, and their successes, their efforts. When you do this, you give them a sense of self-recognition, and you praise them for their hard work, and it's overall going to cause them to have a higher motivation and lead to better work. Finally, you're open to feedback and constructive criticism. This is going to allow you to develop better work methods and just give your managers a better quality of work. Some other benefits of emotional intelligence in the workplace is you can express yourself clearly, you're able to influence other people, you know how to say the right thing to get the right results, and you're able to motivate yourself to get things done. Next, we're going to go over some strategies to gain these characteristics right here that I mentioned. Self-awareness, self-management, empathy, and relationship management are all part of emotional intelligence. These are the 4 domains of emotional intelligence. We're going to offer a strategy for each one. So for self-awareness, you can identify your strengths, weaknesses, and values. You can use your strengths to your benefits when you're constructing messages. Avoid weaknesses or even work on them. And your values are going to come across in your messages, so you need to identify which those are. For self-management, you need to control your emotions, and when your emotions get in the way, maybe you need to sleep on it. You need to get a good night's rest and just think about it for a little while before you communicate back with your employees. Also, talking to a trusted colleague and asking for their advice will provide you with a better solution or better path to take when you're communicating with others. Having high empathy. You need to practice asking good questions. That will definitely increase your emotional intelligence, and it'll let the audience know that you're listening as well as they are interacting with you. Relationship management. You need to maintain regular contact with your coworkers. You can do this through social outings, coffee breaks, lunch breaks, or just saying hi to each other in the workplace overall. These are some guidelines you can follow to also increase your emotional intelligence. They can be slow down and be present in your life. Enjoy everything in your life. Keep a positive attitude. Disagree graciously and refrain from arguing with others. You want to be constructive with your feedback. And even if you don't meet eye to eye with another person, that's fine. Just make sure whatever you have to say is constructive and complementary to the project you're working on. Also, paying attention to small things. Details are very important in the work environment, especially details about other people. When you know more about your colleagues or somebody who you're communicating with, the communication will come across more effectively and clearly, and they'll more likely understand it in the end. When you're able to follow these guidelines, you'll see improvement in your stress management. You'll have a higher stress tolerance. Your decision making, you'll become a greater problem solver. Also, you see your interpersonal skills increase, your empathy, your self-expression. You're a very independent person. And finally, self-perception. You're very emotionally self-aware. That concludes our presentation for today, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.